Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy, and I am here with the third turn of Lock and Load Tacticals, Heroes Against the Red Star, the counterattack scenario. Yeah, I know it's been a week or so since I've gotten this one to the table. There's just been so much going on, so many games hitting the table and getting to me here recently that I've had my hands full. But thanks to having this thing mounted, I've been able to just tuck it to the side and pick it up at a later date. But I'll tell you what, between my dog and my little boy, they did everything they could to try to make sure and mess this up. But I was able to protect it. I got it back to the table, and we are set to take and try to finish this up. To remind you guys, the Russian forces are up there in Starklos. They've lost a few tanks, but they still control the major parts of the city. They still have, was it 1, 2, 3 tanks, 4 tanks there, and then there's another one down in my city, and then they still have that little anti-air unit there on top of a weapon team, a sniper there, and then their infantry. My guys are spread out a little bit farther. Over here we have nothing. That's a destroyed tank, another destroyed tank, a shaken weapon team, one group of infantry. My last remaining tank is right there, and then all down here in the bottom is the remainder of my units, which is a couple of leaders with a squad each and a couple of armored fighting vehicles. One got abandoned on its way in, and there is a group here with a crew and a shaken squad, which I'm thinking about trying to do a rescue mission of sending one of these armored vehicles down and try to circle around to here to pick them up. If he comes down and goes to here, there shouldn't be anyone with a line of sight to him, so he can take and load them up and then drive them back up so they can possibly be rallied on the following turn, and I can get that shaken unit, and it's, was that an M60 that they have up there to help out. So that's the plan at this moment. We'll have to see how it pays out. I think that's all I need to cover. I got all the markers moved from them. I'm not going to worry about covering other stuff. You guys can see the rest of it as it pops up on the channel. Yeah, let's just take and roll off for initiative, see who gets it. Because this turn, I'm calling in the A10. It's the only chance I've got. I was looking at it, and I do have a line right here that I can send the A10 down. And if I start north and come down that line, I've got the potential to take out 2 of their tanks, including their best one, without their anti-air gun being able to get to me. It wouldn't matter if he shot him down after I had shot his tanks, because I get one pass with him anyway, so after he's gone, he's gone. But that would be a couple of tanks I could potentially take out, which would be a very big deal for me. You guys can see my little A10 there. The reason I can take and do a choice on this is one of the special rules for Heroes Against the Red Star is normally if you're doing a fixed wing aircraft, for its entrance you would take and roll a die, and if it was a 1 it would come in from the north, a 2 the east, 3 the south, 4 west, and if it was a 5 or 6 you could pick which direction. This one allows you to just pick which direction you want, period. So you pick one line, any hex line you want, north, south, east, west, whatever, and the plane has to come in and stay on that line in and out. So you want to make sure and hit as much as possible. For me, those 2 tanks right on that line are going to be my best bet. So if I can get there, hit those with this and potentially take them out, and then call in artillery either later this turn or on the following turn here in the city, and hopefully it won't drift too far, because the problem with it is, say I call the artillery here and it causes it to drift a few spaces back and it's on the far side of the building, well, that's out of my line of sight, so I lose it. It doesn't happen at that point. So I need to call it into a spot so it'll still be in my line of sight afterwards. But I have to deal with the fact that degrading terrain, which wrecked vehicles are, and there's one, these might be some, if the A10 does its job. But it really doesn't matter. Even if I take this out and some of their other stuff here in the city, they still have 3 other tanks on the board, so I still don't give my odds very good chances, but we'll see what happens. All right, so let's take and roll for our initiative and see who gets it. All right, I got the initiative, so that works. I take and flip my counter over there, so now I've got initiative. And we're gonna start with our A10, just like I said, and it's gonna take and come down this line of hexes, right through the city, straight on down, and it's gonna shoot at these 2 tanks, and that's gonna be cannons at both tanks, and then one of them I'm gonna hit with its HE equivalent of 8. So you see there that it can shoot 4 hexes in a row with cannon fire, that minigun that it has on the front of it, the Vulcan cannon. And the 8 is its HE equivalent. So when you're using aircraft, the way it says to do it is basically very similar to a regular fire combat, but you're going to take and use whatever number you're using. Let's say we're using the 6 there for its cannon. You would take and add that to whatever die roll modifiers you get and roll a d6 versus the vehicle's terrain modifiers and lowest armor value, and it's like a penetration hit. The cannon wouldn't do anything if these guys were buttoned up. They aren't buttoned up, so I do have a chance to take them out using it basically like a penetration hit. I don't know, the button might not actually matter for the aircraft. I haven't used a whole lot of fixed wing aircraft, so that's been a learning experience for me, but it describes it here in the book. And yeah, when it attacks vehicle, it's it does not make a to hit roll. Instead, it goes straight to an opposed penetration roll described in 14.1, which is like just doing your penetration hit. The target uses its lowest armor value, turret or hull, plus 1d6 when making the opposed result. So I'm gonna take and park him here to know where I'm at. Knocking over my counters. Now the reason I'm saying I'm not, because this is the most powerful tank, I definitely want to take him out. But if I luck out and destroy him with the cannon, I don't want to waste my HE shot that I can potentially have on the other one. Now, which vertice was he pointing at? I think he was pointing this way because he did have one line of fire. So yeah, he has to actually be pointing that way because yeah, he had a line of fire down here onto him. So yeah, he's pointing there. We'll put this back on. There is a leader. Now, his lowest armor value is a 5, and he's in light woods, which should be a terrain modifier of 1. Yeah, okay, 1. So my cannon shot pretty much is a 6. He's getting a 6, so it's a roll off. If I beat him, I beat him, and he's destroyed. No, wait. Yeah, he is destroyed. He'll be destroyed because it's a considered penetration hit, but if it doesn't get him, I'm going to be rolling on the HE one anyway, so I'm not worried about it. So let's roll and see what happens. Yeah, he withstood that completely, no effect. So now I'm going to use my HE, my bombs, on him. And you can think of it as this way. It's like I'm firing cannon here, 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 and here. So 4 rows of cannons, but just 1 bomb. So the 1 bomb is going for their main tank, but see, the main tank, the one I really want to take out, is here in a hex that has a terrain modifier. Yeah, I've got to take the chance that I can get him, because this tank that I have down here could shoot up and take this one out since he's out in the open. That's my best chance. My A10 is going to have to drop his bomb there. So we're going to take and do that. His bomb value is an 8. All right, so his penetration value is an 8 versus the 5, plus his 1 terrain modifier. So it's 8 versus a 6. You know, adding to this and to our die roll. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. The bomb got him. I ended up getting a 14 and he got a 9, so that obliterated him. That took him out, and I think the leader has to do a bailout check. Let me grab my chart here real quick. Remember how the number for the bailout check, where is it at on the vehicles? I know for the crew it's anything but a 1. The crew survives. Yeah, bailout check, roll 1/6. The passengers, okay, passengers even. Oh, actually, you know what? It doesn't matter because this guy's an armor leader. When armor leaders go down, they get when a tank goes down, the armor leader goes down with him. He doesn't actually survive, so moot point as far as that's concerned. We'll take and exchange that for a wreck marker. He's down. Set him over here to the side. Now bomb. That was gun, bomb, and last gun hit. Here he's got a 5 versus my 6, and he's got no terrain modifier. So I've got one, basically a +1 on him since I have a cannon value of 6 versus his terrain modifier of nothing. And that got him. So he got both tanks. We'll take and pull this off as well. Pop that right there, another wreck marker. And ooh, he flies off victorious. Our A-10 did his job. He put me back in the game. Look at that, there's just a little line of busted tanks, and then it kind of curls around over here. All right, so let's see what the bad guys are doing. They've got nothing at range 1 or 2. Execute counteractions. Now here's the one thing. The cards do a good job, and sometimes you have to interpret a little bit. But since I've changed up my strategy a little bit, I've set them for defensive. So their idea is that I'm pushing towards them. I'm no longer pushing towards them. I am just trying to hold this hill so they don't completely crush me. I'm not going towards a city, so I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of cards that tell them to move in my direction or to make aggressive advances. So I might have to make some judgment calls on that since I kind of changed my tactics from an offensive to a defensive strategy halfway through the game, but we'll see what we can get figured out here. So let me grab our counteractions chart. All right. No one's off the map. There are good order weapon teams, but I don't think they have line of sight. What is his range? The only thing he has range to, I think, is this this group of guys down here in this hex, this crew in this shaking group. And there's, if we trace through there, that's two things, that's two degrading terrain in between him. Yeah, there's two degrading terrain, so he'd get a -2 on it. What is his range? His range is, well, yeah, he could do that. That's 20, so it's be a 6 or better to hit. Well, damn, it looks like his range is actually better at longer. But yeah, 6 or better for him to hit. It could be a 4. Yeah, he'd be rolling a 4. 4 better with 2d6. That is not a very good chance to roll. We'll save their weapon team because that's just not a very good thing for him. Good order vehicles with line. Oh, pause for a sec. I forgot to do my rallies. I got one weapon team over here that needs to do its rally check. I do apologize. I forgot to do that at the start of the game there. I don't think I missed anyone else. I haven't worried about that weapon team because they haven't done shit the whole damn game. Since they are in cover, they do get a +2 modifier on their rally check. So 8 or under for them. All right, they rally. Let's see what these little SOBs can do now. They're right next to that tank. Maybe they'll do something useful. Okay, good order vehicles. They have a vehicle here, a vehicle here, a vehicle here, and a vehicle here. Make sure, let me scoot that up a little bit so you guys can see a little better. We don't have to worry about down in that corner just yet. All right, so tank here, 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 and anti-aircraft there. The anti-aircraft has line of sight, but it's degraded twice. This guy is adjacent to this weapon team. I think that would probably be their best bet, because I wasn't even paying attention that he is adjacent to him. I'd probably have him do an assault move and back him up so he's facing him, because as it is now, his side armor's pointed, which isn't the red armor, so the guy would get a bonus. You see he's got the H there, which means heat rounds. If a heat round is fired at red armor, then it gets a -4 modifier to it. So this tank is pretty much effectively dead if he does not do something. So yeah, we're gonna have to move this tank, and we will take and back him up. He's facing that way. All right, what is his? Here, I'll let you guys see what it is. And now I am working on getting pictures of the counters, guys. By the way, someone had asked about me getting the tutorials going again. I am going to be doing that, but I'm working on getting some graphics done and things like that to improve the quality of them. So you guys give me a little bit of time and I will get that set up for you guys as soon as I can. So he's got 20. If he goes 2, 4, he can back up to there, and there's no one who can really do anything to him about it. And the thing is, even if I try to op fire with the anti-tank gun here, the weapon team, when they fire, the enemy gets to op fire back at them, so they don't get to fire first no matter what. So there's really no point in wasting the shot. All right, so yeah, we got to get these guys the tank away. We're going to take and back it up, pointing at him to save his point his frontal armor at him, and we'll take and fire at him there in a red dotted building. What is that terrain modifier for a red dotted building? Let's take a look at it. Red dotted building. Where is it at? Should be a heavy building. Same +4, +3. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's going to be a +4. So ooh, they've got a good terrain modifier on it. But he has a machine gun value of 4 and a HE equivalent value of 6. So he's doing pretty well as far as all that's concerned. Start with our 4. Does he get to fire it just once? Yeah, I think it's just once. Let's see, 4 gets his terrain modifier, 4. Yeah. Hold on, real quick, I want to check something before I do the shot. Okay, I was just making sure that I was right about his machine gun and how he was firing it. I'll zoom in for you guys real quick. I changed him. Instead of backing him up that far, I moved him up 1. So basically he just backed up 1 space. That way he's adjacent and get the adjacency bonus, so he can fire both of his machine guns. He has a 2 firepower, 4 firepower, and a 6 HE equivalent firepower. So he's pretty much getting just obliterated in here. The machine gun firepower, the weapon team will get its terrain modifier for, but for the cannon shot, they don't get it. So they'll pretty much get obliterated on that one. All right, so let's take and roll off on the machine gun real quick. The first machine gun is going to get a +2 modifier to it, bringing it to a 2. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Non-vehicle currently. Yep, I am getting that vehicle because I'm doing an assault move. Where's my assault move marker? If I didn't move him, I wouldn't be getting that penalty. Do I take it back? Do I not move him and I just... Because if we got 360 degree firepower, do I just blast him and hope for the best? The problem is moving him gets a -2 penalty on it. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to change my mind on it. We're just going to leave him there and hope for the best. Just bear with me, it's been a little while. I'll tell you what, playing this game Lock and Load Tactical, it's like coming back to an old bicycle you like, you know. It takes you a little bit to get back to riding it, but after you do, you just kind of coast right into it, and it just feels good, and the counters are nice. That's the one thing. They have really spoiled me when it comes to the counters because they are just nicer than hell, thick, good quality. And then I've been playing all these other different games, and I just kind of get disappointed sometimes. All right, enough of my ranting. So, yeah, we changed it around. We're not having him move. We're going to have him chance it because he's firing so much shit at him. There's really no way that the SOB isn't going down. We'll turn that little turret there pointing at him. He's getting a 4 firepower against him. There's no assault move penalty because we're not assault moving, but he does have a 4 terrain modifier. Let's see if there's anything else. No. Okay. So basically, the first machine gun is 4 and 4, so whoever rolls higher, and we'll see what happens. Oh no. 4 versus the 1, he's done. Nothing's going to happen to that. So we'll do our second machine gun, which its firepower is going to be a 6 with the adjacency bonus. So 6 onto 4. So I got basically a +2 against him. Look at this. So that's a damage check of 1. Let's see what happens for it. Damage check. Go over here to our... Where is it at? Where's the weapon team? I'm missing it. Multi-man counter. Okay, here we go. Right there. And we'll see what happens to them. But it's only +1, so with their morale being 6, this needs to be a 5. Nope. It needs to be a 6 because it has to be greater. So only a 6 will cause them to be shaken. 5. Yep, nothing. So first 2 machine guns did jack shit. So this one, though, is his HE equivalent, which is a 6. And there is no terrain modifier. I have to take and roll to see if he hits, but it's anything but boxcars will basically hit because of all the modifiers he's got, because he's got -2 for the adjacency. Vehicles open, that's -3, yeah. Because it's 10 or under to hit, so... And a 12 is a miss, 2's a hit, always. So, grab it up. Watch it come up boxcars, and he's going to get blown away on the following turn. Nope, he hit. So now we roll off on it. His HE equivalent of 6 versus their die roll. All right, so it's going to be the red one +6 versus just a naked white dice. And let's see what they get on it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, this guy can't get a break. So 7, and they got a 1, so it's a 6. So at a minimum, they're gonna be shaken. So at least I don't have to worry about them shooting back into the side. All right. So many 1s. Let's see what they get here. 3 + 6 = 9. So it's greater than their morale, but not more than double, so they do end up shaking. So we'll pop that there. And that was a while to cover their turn. That was a little longer than I anticipated. Alright, so let's back this back up so we can cover our battlefield here. Now, where am I going? Do I... Shit, I ain't got shit left. Well, I'll tell you what, they don't have anything there. If I move that tank, do they have anything with line of sight on me? See, if we trace down, he does have line of sight here, but his line of sight is cut off by the building. So if I move up this tank as such, the building's blocking me off from this tank, so I don't have to worry about that. But they do have a weapon team here that can fire at me. But again, a anti-tank guided missile, if it fires, the opponent is given a chance to op fire back at it, so that kind of defeats the purpose of it op firing. What I was looking is like, if I moved up here, could I fire onto that tank? I can't. And if I go around the building with this last M1 that I have here to try to take and get behind this tank, I can't get him because this one will be able to op fire on me. So I want to get this tank out of danger, but there's really nowhere to go. If I shoot forward, that tank has line of sight and he can pop around in my butt. If I come around the corner, he can take an op fire and shoot at me before I can get the shot off. I might just have to take the op fire from him, like pull up to the front here, park him facing forward, and let him take his op fire chance. But then that also puts me in line of sight of their anti-tank guided missile and leaders who can potentially call in arty on me. Oh, I don't want to lose my last tank, but I'm running out of options for him. I got to figure something out for him. What can I do here? Maybe I just do my rescue mission and I hold up on him. Let's see, that's 2 degraded, and at range 20 it would be 7 or under to hit. So yeah, we're gonna try to take and save these guys down here. All right, there is this anti-aircraft unit way up there that is pointing south at my guy, so he's got a line of sight, but there's a lot of crud between him and these guys. You know what? I think this hill actually blocks line of sight. The hill goes to here, so I don't think they get to op fire if I just take and move him down around to here. Then that's blocked off, and then they just load in. That's direct, that's behind the hill. He's got his line of sight blocked, and he's got 18 movement points. If I spend 2 movement points going down the hill, so that'd be 3 movement points, another 9 to load them. That puts me at 12, and then 14, 15, 16, or just 15 back up to here. So yeah, I can take and get those guys loaded, get that shaken squad in here so I can take and put them with a leader to get them rallied up. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take and load them. This vehicle's going down, loading, and then shooting back up behind the hill here around the corner so he's not taking any opportunity fire. We will mark him with a moved counter, and there we go. He doesn't have enough movement points left at this point. He'd need at least half of his movement points left to disembark. So that's, I'm assuming, to prevent you from like loading someone, or doing it twice in one turn, since you have to do half because you can't take and move and unload in the same turn. You have to only do one. But on the following turn, I can take and unload them, and then the turn after that, rally. So it's going to be close to the end of the game before I can get them. But at least it'll be some extra units there. Now this guy's out. All right, let's take and draw the card and see what the AI is going to do. We'll cut it back up to them. They are going to... Oh, and I was looking at this. I actually read this wrong. Number of activatable enemy units is less than deactivatable player units. I read that as more than when I was looking at it in a previous video, which would make more sense to me, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. All right, so fired marker here. He's already fired. No one at range 1 or 2. Closest to a target, dynamic move. So that would imply to me a assault move with a vehicle. Can one of these tanks get into a line of sight to do some damage? Let's see if he goes shooting up here. Yeah, there's nowhere for him to go to get behind my tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's a river here, way over here. You guys can't see where I've counted off. But yeah, there's just nowhere that they can go to get behind my M1. But they could take and do a kind of a preparatory move. Well, let's see. My line of sight cuts up this way. So he actually doesn't have line of sight pointing this way. So if this tank shot around this corner, he could take and get the shot off into the side of the M1 without return fire, since my tank doesn't have him in his arc. So yep, that's what we're going to do. He's going to do an assault move maneuver. We'll take and zoom in over on that part of the board so you guys can see what's going on a little easier. All right, he's going to take and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right there, he's at the side pointing down, and this is another T80 BV. All right, it's going to be 10 or under to hit. He does have a, yeah, he's at his minimum range. He's under 12. He's open, so I know it's 11 now, but there is a penalty because he's moving at the assault move. All right, so let's see here. He has -1 for the open, and he's not firing out of his covered arc. It's not an MMC assault move. Degrading terrain, no, because that's going down the vertice, so there's no degrading terrain. Or non-turreted vehicle pivoting to fire. Nope, it is a turreted vehicle. Or turreted vehicle pivoting chassis. Nope. Mounted on a vehicle assault movement. Complete. Yep. So he's getting a +2 there. Yeah, I think that's all that's gonna hit him. Okay, so he's getting a -1 and then a +2 on it. So that brings him to 11, down to 9. So he needs a 9 or better. Sorry, I know that took longer than it should have. That means he needs a 9 or under to take and hit, and he is aiming into the side of this M1. It's my last one, and it's 10 armor on the hull or the turret, so it really doesn't matter which he hits. All right, let's take and roll it. See if he hits 9 or under. This could be bad for me. Oh, he got it. 8. Ooh, you guys can't see that. Let me pull that down a little bit. He got the 8. He just barely got it. Okay, so his penetration value is a 13 against my armor value of a 10. So basically it's red plus 13 and white plus 10. If he beats me on this one, that's my last M1 up in smoke, and that's pretty well game because they have 3 tanks left, I think. Something like that, 4 tanks. All right, so let's see. 13, 10, and dice. Oh yeah, they got it. That is 16 versus 14. He got it. He took out the last remaining M1. That is pretty well game on that one, guys. Sorry to tell you. I mean, we're still going to fight it out. I'm going to let him kill off the rest of my guys. just to see how they do. And I still have some artillery to call in to make them pay for that. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of approaching about 45 minutes here, and it's getting late for me. So I am going to pause it at this point in the turn. I will take and continue on with the remainder of the turn, where I will be having the infantry here call in artillery. So, wow, I've got a weapon team left over here and a stack of infantry. Their best bet is going to be to move through the buildings here and try to close assault that that tank, just to see if they can do some damage to it. And like I said, I might take and switch the deck around, the solo deck, because I originally set it up with that defensive set of cards into it. But honestly, right now they really need to switch to offense, because effectively I'm holding the objective. I've got a couple of squads, couple of leaders down here with some shitty APCs holding the objective, and they have all the reason to come down here and just knock me out of it before the turns run out. There's no reason for them to stick up there anymore, especially if they can take and get a leader down here who can call in some artillery right on top of my guys. It wouldn't matter where it hit, because artillery, say it hit here, it does that damage in that hex and then all the surrounding hexes. So it just has to hit kind of near my guys to take and do a lot of damage. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna pause it here, and we will take and pick up with the remainder of the turn after I take and switch the deck around and put offensive cards in here, since the Russians need to go on offensive at this point. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.